All right, we are back here in White Mountains today. Laura Cummings from White Birch Books joining us on the set. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
How's everything going?
Good. It looks like we're getting ready for a storm out there.
Getting ready for near blizzard conditions?
Near blizzard.
Yeah,
just shy of blizzard.
Well, 8 to 12 inches, that's great news for the ski mountains.
Yes.
But, you know, you can always go hang out in a nice little warm, cozy bookstore.
Well,
that's your thing.
That's what I always say. I say, okay, get your shovels, get your bread, get your milk, but
and
make sure you have your book. You need your book.
Oh, that's a perfect, you know, and I'm looking for something. I just finished, well, I just actually started the Bobby Orr autobiography.
Oh, there you go. What a great
I think
picture on the cover.
Oh, isn't that great? Yeah. But I think it's going to be a pretty quick read. So moving on, though, of course, it's Valentine's Day.
It is.
Love.
You know, when I was looking around, I was like, should I just bring books with red covers? Or should I just bring books with love in them? But, you know, I just kept getting stymied. So I kind of have, I have books I love. Okay. Books about love, whether it's creepy or sweet, and things like that. And I kind of kept it a small.
Run the gamut.
So, let's start with our local, Lisa Gardner.
Now, is this a recent release?
Just came out February 3rd. Okay. We were able to do the release party. Of course, it was in a snowstorm. We did it at Horse Feathers. We did it the night before. On the 2nd, we had special dispensation to sell it the day before. But I always say her books get better every time, and they do. I don't know how she does it, and I'm a little envious. But this one, this woman has suffered 3 concussions within 6 months, and she is completely unreliable. And her husband, does she love her husband? Is she afraid of her husband? Is her husband wonderful? Is he not? And the big center of this is, does she have a child, or is she making that up? What's the deal? But you
can't. Like a child from a previous.
Well, she says she's in this car accident. She's like, she starts calling for Vero, and so of course they bring in the search team, and they're looking and everything, and finally at some point the husband says, we don't have a child. And so, you know, alarm bells are ringing, and the police and everything, and but she's not trying to be unreliable, but she is.
Or is she?
Or is she? Yes. And is her husband wonderful and caring and loving, or is he not? And so you really don't know. And it's funny because when she talked about this book, she said she didn't know where she was going. And I think it really shows, because it's like, I mean, it's not like it's messy or anything, but she just keeps you guessing right up until the end. It's not an obvious thing. It's not at all.
All right, good. That sounds good.
And it's set in New Hampshire, and
that's a good blizzard book right there.
A good blizzard book. That's right. You know, good love or bad love, we don't know.
Crash or burn. But both of those are kind of bad.
Yes. So let's do this one. This one is a book that I loved. So it's got my big little heart of approval on it.
And his name.
Yes, Mr. Crummy. Hey, Mr. Crummy.
You're going to be pretty spectacular carrying a name like that.
Yes, I know. He's Canadian, and he lives up in Newfoundland, you know, like way up there, cold, rainy, fishy, and stuff like this. And this book is set on this little island off of that. And basically what the mainland government is doing is saying, we're going to pay for everybody to leave the island and resettle inland. But the deal is they all have to agree. And our main character, Moses Sweetland, does not want to go.
He's like the last
And so as the time goes by and the deadline comes near, you know, it's a sweet book because he has his memories, and every house or window or place, there's memories, his family and everything, and it all kind of unspools. So I really, I mean, it's not, this is, Crash and Burn is a real, but this is a nice slow,
slow burn.
A slow burn, but it's wonderful. Good. I really like that. So.
And what's this one in the middle here?
This one, The Nightingale. Now this one just came out. Now Kristen Hanna is probably more known for, let's call it ladies fiction or something, but she's gotten more into the historical, and this is a fantastic one. World War II, 2 sisters, they're French, and it's like, you know, the war starts, and and it's like, oh, another war, and you know their parents had gone through the first war, and nothing will happen. Well, of course the Germans invade like that, and the sisters go in very different directions. The one is at home with her child. Her husband's off at the front, and all she wants to do is survive and protect her family. The other sister, a little more impetuous, she joins the resistance. She
wants to fight.
And, you know, thinking, this is going to be exciting, it's going to be fun, and, you know, of course it's horribly dangerous and everything, but it's kind of their parallel stories, and really how war, you can't avoid it. You can't just, I will stay safe. You know, it touches everyone, and
that's amazing.
And everything.
That sounds like a great
and
story.
Yes, I definitely cry, but it's basically the war from the woman's perspective, which you don't see that often,
Right.
and so it was a very good, good book.
Great, that sounds good.
You know,
What's
I
the
don't
little
think,
one there?
I don't think I did bring my creepy love book, but that's okay.
Crash and Burn, we could classify as the creepy.
A little creepy.
All right. The Storied Life of A.J. Fickrey.
This is like a love letter to booksellers, so of course I like it. A.J. Fickrey is a bookseller on an island like a Martha's Vineyard type of thing, and he is a bit curmudgeon-y, he's a bit set in his ways, and a baby is dropped off on his doorstep.
Oh.
And you know, don't use that as an excuse to drop any babies off at our bookstore.
Okay.
we will take care of them.
Noted. She is not looking for any babies.
No babies. But he ends up raising her, and it's a wonderful thing about books, about creating a family kind of out of nothing, and you know, every chapter starts with this great quote, or he's teaching his now daughter about life through these great quotes and everything. So of course, as a bookseller, I love, but anybody who loves to read would get a real kick out of it. And this is almost like a perfect Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
present.
Entertaining, engaging, and funny, just like a great Valentine's Day date.
Yes. So I do have to say that, you know, a lot of people, I know they're out buying their chocolate, they're out buying their flowers and things like that. But, you know, I do believe that there's nothing more personal than the right book.
And a little inscription.
A little inscription, or a little like, I love this book, so I want to share it with you.
I think you just nailed it.
Yes, or something like that. So
yeah, that'd be great. I think we got a couple more to tackle.
Well, this one, I went back to the archives, kind of. You know, this is my throwback to one of my favorite. You know, I always dream of the day then somebody's going to come by and say, you have 5 minutes to pick 10 books and you're going to an island for the rest of your life. You know, so I'm always working on my list.
Is that your day-to-day thought process?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what's on my list? What's on my 10-book list? Well,
I need to nail down this list right now.
Yes, this one is always on my list, The Power of One. I read this when I was probably 18 or 20 or something. I mean, maybe not quite that young.
So this goes like way back.
It is an older book, but you know, it has, yeah. Okay, I just got that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, just about it. Yeah. Anyway. But I've read it a couple times since, and it has staying power. It's set in South Africa. It's the story of PK, this young boy. He's kind of, you know, there's so many cultures in South Africa, and he kind of sits in between all of them. And I think we reread it a couple of years ago in our book group, and there's so many people who hadn't heard of it. Huh. I've never read anything else by him. I'm almost afraid to, because this book was just like, this was like the
perfect.
Book.
Yeah.
And
well, it has suspense, exotic violence, mysticism, psychology and magic, schoolboy adventures, and drama.
There you go. Right there.
What else do you need?
What else do you need? So this was one of my little childhood loves.
Cool.
that
I'll have to pick that one
over.
up, because I am looking for something.
Yeah, and it's a great book for young people too, because it's kind of a coming of age, but young people like teen.
I was going to say,
yeah,
okay, what's the content?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And then this is the last one I bought. This is a local book. Kathy Strasser, the author, is from Sugar Hill. This is her first book.
Over the Cape.
And she was just, our mystery book club just discussed this last week. And it's set up, you know, north. And basically the gist is there's a body found on Mount Lafayette by some bumbling person who's all dressed up in his brand new gear, and he's going to hike the 4,000 footers, and you know, he's immediately in trouble and goes to find shelter up on the mountain and stumbles across this body. And then from there, you've got the 2 local law enforcement people, and then there's also a aggressive New York reporter who happens, and he gets wind of it, and they're both circling around, and of course you've got the murderer in the mix, and she's very good because there's a light touch to it. I mean, obviously there's a creepy element because there's a dead person. I always love, sometimes in our mystery book group, they're like, oh, this book was so violent. And I'm like, well, you need a body to have a mystery.
Of course you do.
Could you kill them cleaner? But anyway, so it's just a fun read. I mean, that's what's nice. Every so often we come across a great little local author who's come out with a nice book.
I think that's great.
And you know, I'm still reading it. I didn't finish it in time for my book group, but and it's good, and you recognize the places she's talking about, and she pokes fun of some of the characters. You know, she pokes fun, but not. She doesn't turn them into ridiculous characters. You know, she pokes a little fun about the from away people, but also pokes some fun at the locals and the different groups. But it's not mean spirited or anything like that.
All right.
So
excellent.
We like to shout out to her.
Yeah, Kathy Strasser.
Strasser. Yes,
okay.
And
great.
she's a full-time. She works full-time in a school, so this is really her.
Oh, good.
You know,
when did she release that?
It's been out, I think, since the fall.
Okay.
But we've kind of only. You know, and we've done well with it. We've sold it well. She came to the store before the holidays, and you know, so she's writing another one, and you know, those are fun.
Yeah,
fun
absolutely. And speaking of fun, you actually brought a couple items, non-book items.
I always like to bring a couple non-book items.
You guys have a lot of non-book items in there as well.
And don't we all need that?
What is it?
Well, that is a squirrel pen.
Wow.
I mean, weren't you just saying the other day?
I need a pen pal.
That's
what I was saying.
And I love squirrels.
Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
I always buy
They're kind of like on par with raccoons for me.
My mother
Although
hates
raccoons
squirrels.
are worse. Oh,
so that's why. Yes, of course I did. Of course I did.
Awesome.
With much
Well, it's
love.
very cute.
It's very cute. We have it in that, and we have it in kind of a brown color, and you won't lose it. She knows, like, oh, I need a pen. Oh, here's my squirrel, and the squirrel is always like, I've got one for you.
Speaking.
And these, I just brought these. These are a total sampling, but these are great little. We have lots of different styles and varieties.
Yeah.
They're made out of all recycled things, but here's like a little coin case and cash cow.
That's awesome. And for the cat lover.
Right, and then the larger size, this one says, get me cake now, things of that nature. But we have lots of different ones, and people use them for all sorts of things. And
this would be a great makeup bag.
Exactly, like a little pencil case or something for the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Put your squirrel pen in.
Yeah, and coins, I was thinking for the cash cow.
Yes, and but it's amazing what they come up with. And so those are fun, and we have lots of different ones.
You have a ton of stuff in there, and they range in price, of course, $4, $5, just over $5, and then $6.50.
Right.
So super affordable as well.
Yes, and it's good for the environment because they're all recycled and all that other good stuff.
All right, and you can find all this at White Birch Books.
Right.
You guys, let's talk about location and hours.
Location, we are just south of the park, across from TD Bank, and we are open 7 days a week. Monday through Saturday, it's 9:30 to 6. Sunday, it's 10 to 5. With this weather, who knows?
Okay, so it's sort of questionable. Should they call ahead?
Well, we're normally going to be there, but if you know, like that snowpocalypse we had a couple weeks ago, where the governor was like, "Don't go out," you know, we just closed that day, and of course it turned out to be not that bad, but nobody was out.
We did have some extreme flurries that day.
Yes,
so.
extreme near flurry weather.
You're right.
But
all right, great.
But so we're pretty much always there.
Okay, online.
Online at whitebirchbooks.com.
Okay.
And I do have to just one quick thing. The biggest buzz in the book business, of course, is Harper Lee. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh yes, I did hear about that. You know, it's big when someone out of the book business hears about it.
And here she is, famous for her whole life of having written just one novel, and she's got her new book coming out. And if you want to pre-order it for us, that would be fantastic. We'd love. That's one of those things where how many should we buy? It's coming out in July. It's called Go Set a Watchman, and I just hope that it's good.
Oh, good.
Because I'd hate. You know, To Kill a Mockingbird has such
like
a
your
place.
Other one, The Power of One.
Right.
You're almost afraid to, but you know, it's such a masterpiece that.
Yes, I've got to think that it has some merit, or else they wouldn't put it out.
Right.
But you know, To Kill a Mockingbird means so much to so many people, and so this will be very
good.
Get to meet Scout and Atticus again.
So, yes. So pre-order that.
Pre-order that. Give us a call. We'll put you on the list. Where I believe it comes out. I think like July 14th.
Okay,
you know, nobody's going to get to see it. I'm going to have to sign. Like if anybody sees it before that date, I'll have to like give up my firstborn or something.
My God.
Oh yeah, they get serious. With
I bet. All right. So White Birch Books, you can find them just south of Schuler Park, on the right as you're heading south. So great bookstore, and again, they have millions of books, but they also have everything else that you need, like teachers' gifts, you know, loved ones' gifts. You guys have a ton of cat stuff too, like cards and these pocketbook things and
I've already
stuff like that.
posted a picture of my cat today to Facebook. I'm like,
there you go.
I was like, you know, my son's just not that cute anymore. I got to do the cats.
I hope Denise is not watching. All right, well, Laura, thank you so much for coming on. Always a pleasure to hang with you on Saturday mornings. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a full weather forecast. Of course, we have near blizzard conditions coming our way. We'll tell you more in just a few.